in this particular series, I am going to title it Phases of Relocation. And I'll be looking at it from the perspective of a healthcare practitioner, a healthcare worker in a third world country who decides to move to another country for a better life. And so I'm going to break it into 4 phases. So the first phase is the inquiry phase. So if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can get the full content. Okay, now there is the inquiry phase, there is the decision making phase, there is the execution phase, and there is the arrival and assimilation phase. Okay, so from the point someone begins to think of relocating, from the point a healthcare practitioner begins to think of relocating, there are 4 phases the person is going to have to go through. And some people are still in phase 1. Some have not even got into any phase at all. They are just happy with where they are relaxed, they are at peace, they don't care, they believe they are doing well, or they are really doing well. Okay, so this is a category 2. Now, but for those who want to relocate, which are the people that I am concerned about, which happens to be the industry that I play in, this video is for you. Okay, so if you're ever thinking of relocating, if it's on your mind, you're considering it, you're just contemplating it, you need to watch this video to the very end. Find all the parts. I'm going to break it into about 4 parts. I encourage you to find the 4 parts and watch them carefully. Okay, now the first phase, like I mentioned, is the inquiry phase, and this includes the phase where you're asking questions. I break them into 4 parts: the why, the where, the when, the how. So you want to know, why do I want to relocate? Why am I considering this? Why do I have to relocate? Must I relocate? Do I have to relocate? So if you're at that phase, that's the why phase. You're trying to find out for yourself. You're trying to understand why you're feeling this way. You're trying to know why exactly you need to move. People have different whys. Okay, people have different whys. So for some people, their why is safety. They live in an environment that they are not safe. They don't feel safe. We have heard of many health workers, doctors being kidnapped. We have heard of doctors being run out of the theaters by the DSS. We have heard of all kinds of things. We have heard of patients brutalizing doctors without consequence that is commensurate to the action. We've heard of all sorts of things. And so we've heard of robberies. All kinds of things have happened. And you begin to feel that you are not safe. When you get to that point, that is a reason for some people to decide to relocate. Some people, they just want to get a second passport. Maybe they've tried to travel in the past and they faced a lot of resistance. They faced abuse at various ports of entries of different countries. And they began to wonder, why exactly am I being treated this way? Why is it that once I flash my passport, I am redirected to another room different from where every other person is going? Why is it that when I arrive in some countries, there is a very long queue for people with my passport, but there are other people who have other passports who are just also human beings, but they are allowed to just walk through another part that there's almost no screening, no line? You're wondering why? I had a friend who told me a story. He said the turning point for him, where he realized he needed to get a second passport immediately, was when he traveled to the UK, and the moment he arrived at the airport, he saw a very long line, and then he saw another line that there was almost nobody. It was very free, it was very open, and people were also going through there, scanning their passports and moving on. So he decided to go through the line that didn't have a long queue. And when he got there, they asked him, what nationality? And when he showed his passport, they told him, no, you go over there. So it took him, I don't know whether it was 2 minutes or 5 minutes, to walk to the back of the line where he belonged to, based on his Nigerian passport. Now, when he looked at the notice, he saw that there were a list of countries on that part that there was no queue. He saw, I think, UK citizens, US, Singapore, Japan, Canada. I think about 5 or 7 countries he saw their name there. And the other part where there was a very long line, he saw the rest of the world. And so they sent him back to the rest of the world. Then after that day, he knew that he needed another passport immediately. So he joined the queue. He spent about, was it 2 hours or so on the line trying to get in. And then the cab that his organization had sent to pick him up at the airport returned and said he was a no-show. So they didn't see him. The time his plane was supposed to land has passed. The guy might have waited there for 1 hour, and he's like, if this guy was in this plane, he should have come out by now. What he did not factor in was where this guy was coming from and what kind of passport this guy held. Okay, so that was when he knew he had to do something about it. So some people, their reason is a second passport. Okay, so it's a second passport. Now, I think that story answers the question. Now, it's not just about the travel part. There are many things you want to do in this world, and the kind of passport you're holding will interfere with your capacity and your ability to do those things effectively and efficiently. Okay, and then the issue of visas. When you want to travel somewhere, you're always applying for visas here and there. That's something you got to do as a Nigerian, or if you're from most African countries, you have to apply for visas, submit your passport, stay for 2 weeks, 1 month, and all of that. So all of those issues, while the other guy with superior passport gets on a flight and arrives in that place, even if he didn't remember to do his visa, for example, they can just print and give me visa on arrival and things like that. That's for countries that he doesn't have, or he's not visa exempt, okay, which is usually very few. Now, this is one of the reasons too that people opt to relocate, okay, for a second passport. Now, a third why for some people is a better training opportunity. So oftentimes you find that someone is in training and he looks around the environment where he's undergoing the training. Let's say he wants to be a professional in a certain field, and where he finds himself, the country where he finds himself, if he undergoes the training in that field, by the time he's done, he's going to be very deficient and he can compete globally. Or the training is just not accredited because of the lack of facilities or trainers. Some of these things could make someone to opt to relocate. Even if they have the trainers and all that, they may just believe that they could get superior, higher quality training in some other place. Okay? Now, for many people, which is the majority of cases from my experience in this industry, for many people, it's the money. Okay? You see, money was not the first thing. For healthcare workers, I understand why money is a reason. Because the nature of medicine and nursing and most other healthcare professionals is so tasking, is so demanding, is so consuming. It's literally like a second wife for you, or like a spouse for you. And there's hardly ever time to look out into the world and see how things work in the world and see what's happening in the business sector, to freelance, to multitask. To be an effective doctor, you need to be committed to your patients, to your job, to your profession. And so that profession should be able to cater for your life properly, so much that you are not distracted, you can stay focused. The moment that is not the case, you can no longer blame people for opting to relocate, because once they lose that sense of stability, financial security, they're going to opt to leave. Okay? And so many people are just looking for more money. They want more financial security, more financial stability in their lives. That's all they're looking for. Okay? Now, for other people, it's better working environment and culture. Better work environment and culture. I worked in some hospitals where you would use 50% of your energies to do non-doctor related work. So these are issues. Sometimes you want to set like IV lines on patients and you can't find cannulas. Then you write for the family to go and buy cannulas. You have an emergency, the crash cart comes, your drugs are missing, all kinds of stuff. So now, these are systemic issues that can be fixed, but for some reason, they just continue to persist in the environment. And Some people just get tired and walk away. In fact, some people, after they lose a patient due to things like this, they walk away. Okay? So better work environment and work culture is another thing. Now, for some people, it's their children. They want to have a better life for their kids, education-wise, second passport, and all this kind of stuff, opportunities. That's why they move. So there are many reasons for which people move, but your own why has to be very, very solid. And once you've answered the question why you need to answer this question why is because the journey is often very rigorous, tedious, traumatic, and for many people, they sustain bruises on the way. And if your why is not solid, you will give up at the slightest surfacing of challenges. So if your why is solid, if you've sorted out your why, then nothing can stop you. I believe this is a good place to stop in the part 1 of this series. In the next series, I'm going to answer the question where. Okay, so thank you very much and you have a great day. Bye bye.